are different facts to this section. All right, there are different facts to this session, but one fact that I am very sure of course, facts are truth, so don't think about my lingo, okay? Just get what I'm saying. One fact that I'm sure of, okay, I know it might be funny, but one fact that I'm sure of is that we're going to have an amazing time. It's the start of the year. We are already the middle of January. Today's January 15th, if I'm not mistaken. And we've already started implementing some of our goals, some of the things that we said we are going to achieve come the new year, okay? Because we said we want to do this. Some of us, we had New Year resolutions. For some of us, maybe we don't like to call them resolutions, but we had plans, things that we were looking to achieve in the year 2025. And we are going to achieve all of that. We are going to see how, how you're going to how we can go about getting into that career of our dreams, focusing on three major career paths, of course, from data analytics to business analysis and to agile project management. So it's going to be a great one. But before we move ahead, there's something that's very, very important, something that's very, very necessary for each and every one of us to have a great time, and for each and every one of us to understand the message that's going to be passed today. And what is that? It's communication. If you've ever been in any one of my sessions, you probably have an idea what I mean by communication, what communication is, my definition of communication. Okay, so my definition of communication is I speak, you speak, and we all speak. Now, mind you, that is not an Oxford definition. So you're not going to see that definition in the dictionary, okay? But yeah, communication is I speak, you speak, and we all speak. Because that's the only way that we're going to benefit from the session today, if we are all communicating. And of course, I know that we might not be able to speak because we don't want a situation where everyone unmutes and everyone starts speaking. So we don't have a ruckus. So what is now going to be our medium for communication? The chat box. So when you respond, maybe I ask a question, I just want to understand if we are all following, you can always send your comments to the chat box. And let's test things out. Let's test this out. How we are doing today? Are we ready to go? So if you know you're ready to go, just send a 1 to the chat box. Okay. If you know you're ready to go, send a 1 to the chat box. And if you know you're not ready to go, type in, I'm not ready to go. Okay. So Stephen is ready to go. Amazing. Charles is ready to go. Ilami is ready to go. Samuel is ready to go. iPhone is ready to go. Okay. Akere is ready to go. Arinola is ready to go. Fantastic. Okay. So we have someone that is not ready to go at the moment. I know that's Yomi. So Yomi says, I'm not ready to go. But Yomi is just kidding. So good to know that we are ready to go, okay? Because I, for one, am ready to go as well. We're going to have an amazing time. We are going to have an amazing time. I can see it. I feel it in my bones. Anyways, so we don't waste any more time. I'm just going to share my screen so we go ahead. Just give me a moment. Okay, so let's move on. What we are yet to, I'm still saying that lots of ones. Here we go. Amazing. Good to know that we are communicating. Okay. So what we are here to take a look at is three main career paths: data analyst, business analyst, and what? An agile project management. That's the project manager. And we want to take a look at which of them is really right for you in the year 2025, because we all know it's the new year. A couple of weeks ago, we were all like, oh, happy new year this year. I'm going to get amazing things. I'm going to achieve my goals. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do each and every one of those things. Time is ticking. It's time to take action. Like I mentioned earlier, this session is going to be divided into different sections. All right. So the session will be divided into different sections, starting with us understanding the difference between a business analyst, a data analyst, and a project manager. They will understand the technical and the employability skills that are required for you to be able to get a job. Because at the end of the day, one of the goals that we set out for ourselves come the year 2025, or rather, one of the goals we set out for ourselves in the year 2025 was probably to transition from what you're doing at the moment to what you want to do, was probably to be able to get good work-life balance, was probably to have that career that we can see some sort of progression, was probably to be able to make more money, or like I love to call, or like I love to say, okay, the Benjamins. We all know the Benjamins. And then we also take a look at the upcoming quarter starting February 8th and how you can be a part of that. So about analytics, first of all, because for some of us, we probably we're like, oh, so this is the first time you're joining a session, it's an analytics session, and you're wondering, what is Analytics? Who is Analytics? Which is Analytics? So what is Analytics about? All right. So Analytics is an edtech company, and what we do is that we help people like you, transition from what they're doing at the moment to getting that first job in tech. So we help you achieve your goals. We are like Santa Claus. It's Christmas just passed, and kids are always like, oh, Santa Claus brings you your wishes, your gifts. So Analytics is Santa Claus. So we help you achieve your goals. The goals you set out for yourself, those little presents that you want. Oh, this year I want to be able to get a job in tech. So that is what we do. We help you transition. And we have programs from data analytics to business analysis, data engineering, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, HR project management, cybersecurity, and AI engineering, which is coming soon. So, stay put, okay? Because you're going to see, you get more information about that particular program. And we've been able to help over 2,500 people transition from the classroom into getting that first job in tech. So that is what we do at Analytics. That is what we are about. If you don't remember anything about what we do, just remember we are Santa Claus and we are here to help you achieve your goals. But what about me? Okay, what about me? Who is this guy that has been speaking for a while? Who is this guy that's currently talking about Santa Claus, talking about the new year, talking about goals? Okay, who am I? I'm Aisha Agbolahor, as you can see from the name tag at the bottom left, and I'm the lead in charge of training and operations at Analytics. So I have diverse experience ranging from data analytics to business analysis, power platform engineering, and also predictive AI engineering. So my over 5 years of experience has been spread across all of these different career paths. And I've worked with organizations, with companies in different countries, from the US to the UK to Canada to Singapore and also Nigeria. And I've also been able to train over 2,500 participants across 4 continents. But that's just it about me. There are other exciting things about me, okay? For example, I'm a very good chess player, all right? Maybe not the best out there, but I'll say I'm pretty good, all right? I speak French, all right? Hoping to be fully conversational before the end of this quarter, one of my goals, all right? And a couple of other things, I can read minds as well, so I can read minds. All right? Let's move on, because there's a reason why we're here. Why we are here. And is to take a look at those 3 career paths. Like I mentioned that, I know I said this. Okay, I said this, and I'm going to repeat myself. It's 2025 already. It's 2025 already. The celebrations are over. Now there like over 200 days before we say Happy New Year once more. Except maybe you are in other countries that celebrate, like different kinds of New Year. But with the general New Year, it's going to be over 200 days. So the celebrations are over. This is not the time to, I think that's what they call Dirty December. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but we are done with that. It's time to get to work. It's time to start working on your plans. Almost every person, because I believe we are all adults, most of us on the call, adults make plans for what they're looking to achieve for that year, either family-wise or either something that's personal, individualistic. Okay, it's either you're looking at what you want to achieve individually or what you want to achieve family-wide. We all have our plans, and the funny thing is that right now, many of us still think that we have time. That, oh, you know what, there's still enough time. It's just January. I can just take it easy for a while. Maybe when we get into February, March, April, I start trying to put my feet on the pedal and start to start moving as quickly as I should. That is not the way to go. It's time to start implementing our plans. It's one thing to plan, it's something else entirely to implement. Most of us on the call, we've already done what this lady is doing at the moment. That's this lady planning for the new year. Now it's time to implement those plans. That said, what are the career paths that we should really be looking out for? Because for most of us right here, we are interested in data analytics, in business analysis, or in project management. Which of them should we be going out? Should we go for? Should we even go for any of them? Or maybe they're just they're things that people say, but they are really not in high demand, they don't pay well, and that they are really not career paths you should be looking out for in 2025. Is that the case? Well, I carried out my research because I did the work. So I pass across everything I found to you guys. All right. So you get to understand how you can make the right decision this year. And what did I find out? I found out that business analysis, data analytics, and agile project management are career paths that are in high demand in 2025. They were in high demand in 2024, and there's only going to be an increase in 2025. There are different publications that have been added to this slide. So if you know that you would like access to the materials, please ensure you fill the attendance form. So my colleagues have been sending the attendance form to the chat box. Ensure you click on that link, you fill in the attendance form, so you get access to the materials, the recordings, and each and every one of those things. So you can read up on these publications and use that to make a decision for which of the paths that you'll be looking to go into this year. Business analysis is in high demand. Data analytics is in high demand. Agile project management is in high demand as well. But then I did additional research because, yeah, there were publications out there that actually had, they were telling us that, okay, you know what, if you want to be a business analyst, it's a very good time right now for you to be a business analyst due to the high demand, due to every organization needing a business analyst to come in there. Same thing for data analyst, same thing for agile project management. But all of these things are just publications. I wanted something that would add in merit to the claims of each and every one of these publications. Something that would serve as, okay, you know what, since this is what we said, someone else is saying the same thing, and that would add to the fact that this is probably true. And that's how I came across the World Economic Forum. Now, the World Economic Forum is a very large organization. I'm pretty sure many of us, we've heard about them. We all know World Economic Forum. And every 2 years, they have a meeting. They carry out a research. The World Economic Forum, first of all, let me tell you what it comprises of. It comprises of the top CEOs in it comprises of the CEOs and the top companies that talk about the Fortune 500 companies, your Amazon, all of those major companies. So they come together to take a look at the economic trend for the year 2025 and the different roles that will be in high demand in the year 2025. Because we know that these are the people that shape global economics. And what did we find out? This report that you are currently seeing right now was brought in January, just a couple of weeks ago. Guys, again, celebrations are over. It's time to get to work. As you can see, organizations are already holding meetings on what the projection for the year would be. This is a report that covers the next 5 years. That's from 2025 to 2030. And the jobs are the jobs that you can find at the just give me a moment, trying to just want to get my pen. Okay, so the jobs that you can find at the left, those are the roles that are going to increase in demand. And pardon my writing, please. Okay, the jobs you can find at the left, these roles would increase in demand. And the jobs that you find at the right are those that would what? That would decrease. Okay, so decrease. Decrease. And those by the left would what? Increase. And over by the left, because that's what we're interested in, let's take a look at some roles. We can see roles. Of course, we know what we're interested in right now. We're interested in three career paths: data analytics, business analysis, and agile project management. And so taking a look at this, you see your big data specialist, which is talking about your data scientists, your data engineers. You see your AI and machine learning specialist, which also is in the realm of data science. And then over here, you notice you have your what? Your data analyst and scientist. That is that's one of the roles that would increase in demand. There are so many opportunities right now, and that it is only going to increase in demand. Again, this is a report in 2025, in January. This was just carried done in the last couple of weeks. You can get access to this report by clicking on this link over here. Once you click on the link, you get access to the report. It's a report that's open to everyone. It's over 300 pages, and what we're interested in is on page 29, and that's where you find this. But if you have the time, you can read the entire thing. So it's a fantastic read. And also, you would notice that you have the process automation specialist. The process automation specialist, that is a business analysis role. And also, you have what? The project managers. The project managers, that is, these project managers, mind you, this is not talking about your traditional project management. Your traditional project management, that is your waterfall, your PMP. But rather, it's talking about the agile project managers, because many organizations are looking to be more agile, are looking to be more flexible, especially with the advent of different tools and technologies. So things are now done more things are not done quickly, being adaptable, being flexible. But don't worry, you get to understand what agile project management means and what agile project managers do in due time. But that is the report so far. Now, I'm sure we can all see that these three roles are in high demand. This is not just ICSS claiming that they are in high demand. These are external sources. These are external reports which have been brought to you for you to see that this is not just something Analytics is preaching, and this is not just something ICSS is preaching as well, but this is something that is actually true, and that each and every one of you should get on. If you know you're still with me, send a 1 to the top. Let's make things fun. Let's make things fun. If you know you're still with me, send ice cream to the chat box. Ice cream. If you know you're following, okay, you're with me, send ice cream to the chat box. Don't ask me why I said ice cream. Okay, I love food, but we'll get into that later on. Okay, Yomi said pizza. I don't know. I think I'm gonna. Earlier, so Yomi said she was not ready, and now she's saying pizza. That's a very funny one. I think I'm gonna look out for this. ice cream, ice cream. Good to know that we are all following. Okay, so that is the situation of things. That's the situation. That's what we're seeing. Let's move on. Let's move on. Business analyst, data analyst, and project manager. Business analyst, data analyst, and project manager. What do they do? What does it mean? Which should you get into? We begin with a business analyst. Who is a business analyst? Okay, we begin with that. A business analyst is a professional who acts as a bridge between two main terms. Two main terms you should take a look at. You should look out for here: business stakeholders and what? Technology team. The business stakeholders refers to what your non-technical stakeholders. That's your non-technical stakeholders and your technical stakeholders. The business analyst is the middleman. The business analyst ensures that whatever the organization sets out to do, that it is achieved. Because most times plans and ideas are in the minds of the business stakeholders. Let me give you an example. Let me give you a practical example. All right. Let's say you have the CEO of an organization, and the CEO has a plan. Oh, we need to launch a new product. This is what we need to do. We need to launch a new product that's gonna be nice, that people would buy, that would appeal to the market. And we need a product designer, that's, let's say, UI UX designer, that will come in to help us design this product. The CEO in this case, okay, the CEO in this case is going to be your what? Your stakeholders. That's your business stakeholder. Okay, your business stakeholder. Again, apologies about my writing, okay? Sincere apologies. So, and then you have the technology team. In this case, the UI UX designer. And then this is part of the technology team, also known as the technical stakeholders. Technical what? Stakeholders. Technical stakeholders. Now, the UI UX designer knows that, oh, I need to build a product. I need to build a product that customers can buy. Let's say we are building a new application, or I need to design an application, or I need to design a website. But that is not enough for the designer to go start designing. The designer needs to know certain things, like what is the goal of the website? What colors should we use on the website? What should the website, what kind of payment gateway should we use on the website? Things like that. All of those information, that information is known by who? The CEO. Okay, so the business analyst would now be the middleman to get all of those requirements from the CEO, which is also known as your what? Your requirement gathering. We get all of those requirements and we convert them into user stories for the acceptance criteria that the technical stakeholder is going to use to work. So that means that the technical stakeholder would now take a look at it, and in this case, the UI UX designer, oh, the application needs to be yellow in color. And then as soon as the application is yellow in color, that means, oh, this criteria done, this other thing, all of those things. So that is one of the things a business analyst does. And there are still other things. For example, they analyze processes. Okay, they analyze processes. A business, that's when I say analyze processes, what I mean is that a business analyst takes a look at the needs of the organization. What are we doing at the moment? And how can we be better? At the moment, we are doing 4 kilos per hour. How can we convert that to what? 10 kilos per hour? How can we improve productivity? And how can we increase efficiency? Improving organization's processes. They analyze business processes, analyze business needs, and also ensure that the product or the process meets business objectives. A business analyst is always going to be speaking with people. A business analyst is business focused. someone that needs to understand the integrals of the business. A business analyst has to ensure that a business analyst, like it says, is that middleman that speaks to everyone in the business, everyone that's in charge of a particular product or a particular process. Being a business analyst, you would need to have good communication skills because you are going to be speaking with a whole lot of individuals, having different meetings, and so on and so forth. But let's take a look at a practical scenario. A practical scenario. All right. Let's say you sell handbags and customers have been complaining of delayed deliveries and incorrect orders. So customers are complaining, oh, we need more. And I ordered for my handbag 5 days ago. Until now, I've not received my bag. I didn't get a refund. Customers are complaining. And we all know that when customers start to complain, there's a high tendency you're going to have a reduction in sales, which would lead to what? A reduction in profits. No, a reduction in sales, yeah, which will lead to a reduction in profit. So you bring in a business analyst. And what would the business analyst do for you? What would the business analyst help? What would the business analyst do right now? The business analyst will take a look at what you're doing at the moment. Because trust me, if you are a business, maybe an e-commerce, or you have deliveries, all right, so people can order from your business and you go and you deliver these items to their doorsteps. You need to ensure that you are doing very well, that you are doing, let's say, same-day delivery, or at most one-day delivery. That's after 1 day you get your item. Because the organizations right now, for example, Amazon does same-day delivery. Okay, so you want to ensure that you are at par with competition for you to not run out of business. And so the business analyst then comes in, takes a look at the current state. What are we doing at the moment? What's the point from when a customer will go ahead to ask for an item to when it will eventually get delivered to the customer? What's the difference between point A and point Z? What do we do from start to finish? This is what is called the current state. All right? This is what is called the current state. The current state is how we're doing things at the moment. It is also known as the as-is process. The as-is process. As is, as things are, the way we are doing things right now. And so what the business analyst found out was that for customers when customers want to order for an item, first thing they need to do is to make a call. So they first of all have to make an order, and then order manually by making a call. So they have to call the business. Oh, please, I want to know, do you have this bag? Do you have Chanel? I believe it's called Chanel. Yeah. So I believe the ladies would know Chanel. All right. So maybe you want a Chanel handbag, the one that costs maybe $1,000 or something. Okay. And so they have to call and say, please, do you have this bag? Do you have Chanel, or do you have this Gucci, or do you have this they talk about the brand. And then the staff would then say, oh, thank you very much for calling. Oh, please, can you give me a moment to confirm if we actually do have what you're asking for? That is already a delay. After the staff confirms, that's why the staff manually writes down the order and then scans through a notebook to check if the item is available. And in this case, the notebook is serving as the inventory. So it scans through the notebook to check if the item is available. And then if the item is available, they then tell the customer, oh yeah, your item is available. Thank you very much. And would document the order right now. And your item will get delivered to you as soon as possible. What's the next thing the staff does? The staff then goes ahead to print the order details. After printing the order details, the staff goes to the store to check if the item is available. Note, it is one thing for you to have an item, and it is something else entirely for the item to still be in store. Because you could be selling Chanel, maybe let's say, I don't even think I'm pronouncing it correctly. I hope people don't come for me. I don't think I'm pronouncing it correctly. I don't think it's pronounced Chanel. I think it has a more fancy pronunciation. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I right? It's Chanel, right? Or we don't know the brand I'm talking about. Okay, I'm right. It's Chanel. Okay, Chanel. I'm right. Okay. So Chanel. Okay, okay. All right. The H is silent. So maybe I'll take a class on pronouncing that on pronouncing that later. Okay, so it's one thing for you to sell that kind of bag, but maybe the bag is no longer in stock. So it means that you sell, but it's out of order. Like people have, maybe you had five and five people five customers have purchased the bag, and so you don't have anyone in stock. So that is why the staff also has to go check if the item is available. The notebook would tell the staff, oh yes, we sell the item, and the staff would need to go check the store if the item is still available. And if the item is available, the staff picks up the item. And after picking up the item, then the staff has to go ahead to prepare shipping labels. Shipping labels, those things that are attached to your product, that would have your name, where is it going to be, where the product should be delivered, all of those kind of things. And then cause the courier to come pick up the item. And after the courier picks up the item, the courier then goes to deliver the item, drops off the item with the customer. There's a whole lot of manual process involved. There's a whole lot of issues involved. I want you guys to give me an estimate. How long do you think it would take for this customer's bag to be delivered, from when they're called to when it is eventually delivered, using this process? How long do you think it would take? I want you to just take a guess. Just take a guess. Just take a guess. How long do you think it would take? Is it 1 day, 2 days? Nadine says a week. Nadine says this is going to take a week. 1 whole week. Now, if you have two brands, you have two different kinds of two brands, or let's say two organizations. One would deliver to you, one would deliver an item to you, that's what you ordered for. One would deliver that item to you in a week. The other will do so in, let's say, less than a day. Who would you order from? Who would you order from? Is it the latter or the former? A day. Thank you very much, Remy. You would go with the latter, because at the end of the day, they say time is money. And the funny thing is that for those guys that have same-day deliveries, they save lots of relationships. For example, let's say one of the couple forgot about the birthday or the anniversary, and then they can quickly just say, oh, please, I need this item delivered same day. So it seems like they actually remembered. But just imagine that you had no same-day delivery, so you have to wait for a week. Before the item comes in, you probably divorced, or maybe you've broken up. All right, so a breakup will ensue. So we'd have companies that have been saving relationships since day one. I think there are phrases like that, saving lives since 1990. So you need to ensure that your company can deliver on time. Yes, Samuel, you're very right. We're in a fast-paced world today. Customers want their items, like I order for it right now, I get it right now. That's it. So this company needs to change. After the business analyst noticed this, that we are having a problem, it's taking too long for items to be delivered. What did the business analyst do? And before we take a look at what the business analysts do, this current state takes 3 days takes 3 days for the item to be delivered. 3 days. So you make an order today, you expect that it's going to be delivered in at least in 2 days' time. That is not good enough. So exactly, Nadine. Exactly. That is what I'm talking about. All right. So what the business analyst now does is to go about optimizing that process. At the moment, we have this current state that is taking too long. Why don't we make things easier? How can we optimize things? How can we make things easier so we reduce the delivery time? The business analyst decides, okay, instead of having customers order by calling, making phone calls, why don't we have a website or an application that customers can order from? Now, in that application or in that website, there will be an order management system. That order management system would receive the order. And because it's a machine, the OMS would automatically update the inventory. By updating the inventory, it eliminates two things: having to check a notebook if the item is available, and having to what? Having to check the store if the item is available. Because then we're having frequent updates. So that means if the item is not available, you're going to see it from the website instantly. Or if the item is no longer in stock, you're going to see it from the website instantly, because we have a machine that is automatically updating the inventory. After that, the machine also goes ahead to generate the order details. So quickly print out, and all of these are being done at the same time. Updating the inventory, going ahead to what? To generate the order details. And then also auto-generate the shipping labels. While it's generating the shipping labels, it's sending a message to a staff to go pick up the item that a customer has made an order, go pick up the item from the store. And then the staff goes pick up the item on the store. And while the staff is going to pick the item from the store, you have what? You have the same OMS, that's the order management system, sending a message to the courier. So now the staff does not still have to call the courier. As soon as the staff is going to pick up the item, a message is going to the courier telling the courier, come over to come pick up this item and get it delivered to this customer. This new process would take what? Would take 5 hours. 5 hours. Amazing. All of these things I've just mentioned, the business analyst is not just going to go ahead and start, just thinking things out. A lot of research would need to be carried out, and in mapping out the processes, tools like your Lucid Chart, your Draw.io, or your Microsoft Visio will be used. Okay? Your Lucid Chart, Microsoft Visio, Draw.io would be used in mapping out these two processes by using things like your swim lane diagram or your standard flow chart. So that's the scenario. That's what a business analyst does. I can see a question, someone asking, is there a difference? What's the difference between business analysis and business analytics? We'll find out very soon. But everything I've just talked about is business analysis. That's everything I've been explaining so far. Business analysis. But what about a data analyst? Who is a data analyst? A data analyst is a professional that collects, processes, and analyzes data to help organizations make informed decisions. Fun fact: data analytics okay, is the same as business analytics. Data analytics is the same as business analytics. Now, mind you, note, I did not say that data analytics is the same as business analysis. No, That was not what I said. There's a different, okay, you know what? Data analytics is same as business analytics, but analytics, data business analysis. So there's a difference. There's a difference. Data analytics is business analytics. Data analytics is not business analysis. Business analytics is on majorly business data. If you go online right now and search for the term business analytics, you are going to see that a business analyst, in that case, business analytics, I don't know why, but whoever decides to say, oh, business analysis, okay? But you will find out that business analytics is a data analyst that analyzes business data and help organizations make informed data-driven decisions, just the same as a data analyst. But when you search for business analysis is a professional that analyzes business processes to help the organization optimize their processes, meet the organization's needs, and serves as the middleman between the non-technical stakeholders and the technical stakeholders. They are not the same thing. So that's it. And then, what does a data analyst do? A data analyst identifies business trends. A data analyst what? Identify business trends by working with tools such as your Excel, your Power BI to analyze data. What are trends like? What did we do last year? Okay, what are we going to do? What did we do last year? What did we do last 2 years? A data analyst answers two main questions. What happened and why did it happen? What happened is talking about I'm referring to your descriptive analytics, and why did it happen is referring to your what? Is referring to your diagnostic analytics. These are the two major areas that a data analyst focuses on. By you taking a look at your descriptive analytics, identifying what happened in an organization, a data analyst is able to identify business trends and patterns. This is what we did that led to this. So if it was a good thing, we know to do the same thing this year, so we have the same results we had last year. And if it was a bad thing, we know to do something else, so we don't have the same result as we had last year. A data analyst generates reports. Because as a data analyst, it's not only just about analyzing data. At the end of the day, your data needs to be presented to stakeholders, to those that are in charge of making the decisions. You don't just go analyze data and go to bed. No, no, no. You also have to be able to present what you've found out. Oh, this is what I noticed. This is what I noticed. And how do you make presentations? By generating reports. When I say reports, what am I referring to? I am talking about your dashboards. So as a data analyst, you build dashboards that shows companies what their data is saying. As a data analyst, you are an interpreter. You're like an interpreter. I can see we have questions on the chat box, okay? I might not be able to take all questions now. Sorry about that glitch. So a data analyst go to present to what? To present to stakeholders that this is what I noticed. This is what I found. Just give me 2 minutes. Okay. Good. So that's the dashboards to present to what? To present to the stakeholders. And data analyst provides insights for data-driven decisions. After presenting the report, after presenting the dashboard, the data analyst assists in making data-driven decisions. Oh, this is what we want to do. This is what the data is saying. And I feel that this is the best course of action. Form the role of a data analyst. All of these things make up data analytics. An example of what a data analyst will do is converting this report. So right there on my screen, a data analyst will convert this data, a report, talking about, oh, this is what I noticed. This is a dashboard. This is a dashboard that a data analyst will build. Converting that data, because at this point, you really can't tell what the data is saying. If I was to ask you, oh, what is this data saying? How many sales did we make? What's customer demographic like? What's the delivery time? You would not be able to tell because it's all just a bunch of numbers and letters. But then this would then be converted into this report, which would now make sense because then you can see the trends, you can see everything. So that is what a data analyst does. In charge of what? Of analyzing data to assist in data-driven decisions. Moving on, what about the Agile project manager? Who is an Agile project manager? An Agile project manager is a professional that ensures projects are delivered on, that the team is working the way they should, all while ensuring that everyone sticks to Agile methodologies. What is Agile? Agile or Agile, okay? I know it's Agile, so pardon my pronunciation. So some persons say Agile, some persons say Agile, really. So what is Agile? Agile from the dictionary definition means to be quick, all right? Quick, fast, do things like you have energy. That is what it means. So maybe we could say that an Agile like a quick project manager. Agile means to be flexible, to be adaptable. Because previously, when we had the traditional project management is all about doing things one thing at a time. In the traditional project management, which is also referred to as the waterfall, before you move to point B, you have to have completed point A. An example, let's say you want to wash clothes. You want to do your laundry. There are two, everyone does laundry. So it's either you dry clean or you do your laundry yourself. Any of them, at the end of the day, your clothes end up being washed. So if you want to do your laundry, it's a step-by-step process. Is you place it in the machine, and then after is you rinse. And then after rinsing, spin, and after spinning, you dry. You cannot go ahead to rinse without washing. just like you cannot spin without rinsing. That is waterfall. So that means that after you've done the everything you're supposed to do, after you've washed your clothes, it could take you, let's say, maybe to take you 5 hours. It takes you 5 hours to complete washing your clothes. 5 hours. Because let's say 1 hour for washing, 1 hour for drying, so 5 hours. And then that means that if there's a stain, so let's say after you washed, you notice that there's a stain somewhere, you're going to have to start from square one again. So you start from washing, rinsing, so that's an extra 5 hours. That is waterfall. Waterfall is slow. Waterfall is not adaptive, does not adapt. Waterfall is not flexible. That is the reason why organizations are tilting away from waterfall towards agile. Because agile is the opposite of waterfall. And what does agile say? Agile says that you can wash, you can rinse, you can spin multiple iterations. So that's you can easily just go back since you do everything at the same time. So let's say you notice that the game, because everything is at the same time. So instead of using 5 hours to deliver on your deliverables, you could use 2 hours. Since Agile also says that that you can take things in bits. Instant, let's say you want to build a website. You want to build a website. What will Waterfall say? Waterfall would say that the designer has to design the entire application or the entire website, first of all, before the developer starts building. So designer has to compare the developer is done before we send it out to the public, or before we send it out to the testers, and then after testing, before we send it out to the public. That's what Waterfall will say. But Agile would say, instead of doing that, why can't we have multiple iterations whereby we have different sprints, where the designer would, instead of designing the entire application before we start building, why don't the designer just design only the home page, just the home page of the application, just design the home page, and after you've designed the home page, the developer had to build the home page, just the home page. And after the developer has built the home page, we send the what over to the QA to go test. Then, okay, yeah. So let's end it at, we can go for that, but let's end it at that point. So that means that if there's a mistake on the home page, if maybe the QA, that's the quality assurance guys, find out that there is a problem, the home page is not functioning as it should, it's easy to push this back to the developer or the designer to make changes. Okay, so that is it. So that means that we can do things quickly. So when we are done with the home page, we then move to another sprint. So since we are doing things sprint by sprint, if there's a change, if maybe someone wants a change to be added to the home page, or the home page is green, I want it to be yellow, it's easy for us to go back and implement that change quickly. Agile says that different parts of the team can be working at the same time to achieve the same goal. And due to this reason, that is the reason why the Agile project manager is very, very much needed. Because one thing that flexibility and adaptability gives you is that it can also lead to chaos. And what do I mean chaos? You can have issues where people are not agreeing, because let's say the home page has been completed and then someone mentioned, let's say the business analyst says, oh, the home page, something else has to be in the home page, and now the developer has to go back to the home page. That could lead to tension in the team. So the Agile project manager has to ensure that everyone is working together, that what everyone is doing is towards the goal of the project. There are different Agile methodologies. You have the Scrum, you have the Kanban, you have the Lean. For you to be a proficient Agile project manager and Agile PM, you have to have all of these skills. So that if you are working in an organization that Scrum doesn't work for them, so maybe they've tried this Scrum framework before and it did not work for them, that you are still relevant. That is the reason why it is better to learn Agile project management than just Scrum alone. Because then if Scrum doesn't work, you can switch to what? Kanban. And if Kanban doesn't work, you can switch to what? To Lean. The Agile project manager is also called a servant leader. Why is it called servant leader? Why are Agile project managers called servant leaders? Servant leaders. Servant leaders. Why? Because you are leading the team, you are leading the project. You lead the project, but most times you don't necessarily, most times, there are some exceptions. Most times you don't necessarily lead the people. Now, what do I mean by you don't lead the people? You are not the edge of the people. Because every team has the team lead. You know the team leads. So let's say you have a team lead, you have a boss, you have that your boss. So your boss says jump, you jump. Your boss says go to bed, you go to bed. I'm kidding anyways, but we understand what I mean. So we have the team leads, we have the managers, we have the bosses. Now those lead the people. The Agile project manager is more like, okay, let's say your colleague that's leading that project. So they decide how the project should go. That's why it's called a servant leader, because you are leading the project, but you are like a servant to the people, because you're ensuring that everyone is working well, everyone is working fine. If people have issues, they come to you regarding the project. So just because your KPIs is revolves all around delivering on that particular project. The Agile project manager, everything I've said so far can be summarized facilitating collaboration among team members, ensuring that the project meets business objectives, and adapting to changes quickly. We no longer want a banner. We need to change it to something else. The Agile project manager is there to ensure that that is implemented in the project. That is the reason why many organizations are now tilting towards Agile. I'm sure most of us, we know about things like for example, WhatsApp. WhatsApp has so many versions. Version 1, version 2, version 2.0. All of those things are due to what? Agile. Because you don't need to have the entire project completed before you launch to the public. You can always have subsequent iterations. Even while we are currently speaking, there's a project team dedicated to finding more use cases for WhatsApp, to finding more ways to improve on WhatsApp. So that's why from time to time, you get what? Frequent updates. Waterfall would say, if the application is not complete, don't send it out. Everything needs to be complete. Everything needs to be up and running. These two returns is what a project manager does. And like I said, the Agile project manager is specific to the Agile project manager. If you are still with me, send ice cream to the chat box. If you are still with me, if you're following, send ice cream to the chat box. You know, ice cream. Ice cream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Okay. Thank you, Shagun. Thank you, Irene. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Nina. All right. So ice cream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Sally even shortened it into IC. So please don't forget to fill the form, very, very important. So you get access to the records, get access to the materials, so you can go through all of these things at your own spare time. Okay. Very, very important. Taking a look at the scenario for the Agile project manager. You want to build a mobile app, just like WhatsApp, to enhance customer engagement and boost online sales. The traditional project manager, traditional PM, that's your waterfall. What they do is, first of all, you gather requirements. After gathering requirements, you design. After designing, you implement, you test, you deploy, and you maintain. You have to, the traditional PM would need to gather all requirements, before the design, and the design phase would need to be completed before implementation begins. If design is not completed, we are not implementing. If the designer has not designed what the entire application should look like, we are not building. And after we've built, then you test. And then after you test, then you deploy to the public. Then frequent maintenance occurs. That is traditional PM. That is what many organizations are living. Some organizations that still practice waterfall practice what we actually call Agile. Organizations that still practice waterfall, they practice Agile. And what is Agile? Agile is a combination of waterfall and the Agile framework. So they are tilting from waterfall, but they don't just want to leave waterfall completely. So that's why they are fusing both of them together. That's for organizations that function with using the waterfall. Many organizations use what? Agile. That's the adaptive project management approach. And what will the Agile project manager do here? Sprint planning. What is sprint planning? The project is broken down into small manageable tasks. Okay, instead of us gathering requirements for everything, why don't we gather requirements for this section? Let's just work on the home page now. The next week we'll have another sprint. The next sprint will be for the payment gateway, and then the next sprint will be for the inventory. Then we just divide things little by little. Take things one at a time. And then after we work on the sprint, we then we work on that sprint, okay? And then we have continuous development and testing. All right, continuous development and testing. So we have with the features that we built on our sprint. So right now we built the home page. Then what? We are continuously developing the home page. We are testing the home page while we are working on other sprints. And then we have what? Frequent releases. So instead of waiting for the entire thing to be completed at once we know that our application meets what they call MVP, minimum viable product, something that works, something that is shippable, as it's also called in Agile terms, then we push to the public, and then we get feedback from the public on areas we can improve upon, and then we work on those things. That's what is called customer involvement. We get feedback from the customers, and then we adapt. So if customers are complaining about a specific feature, then we adapt. We come back to our sprint planning, we work on it, we push again to the public approach. The traditional project management could take you 7 months to work on the entire project. But the Agile project management will take you 1 month because you're working on it bit by bit. You work on something, you send it out to the public. The public is already using your product, and you have not yet completed building the product. You are getting feedback. Excuse me. You are getting feedback, you are iterating, and you are delivering even more. So, yeah. So that's it. So this again is the World Economic Forum. I know we went through this before. This is just to highlight the fact that these three career paths I just mentioned, data analytics, business analytics, and Agile project manager, they are very, very, very much in high demand. And yes, it's something that you should get into. As a business analyst, you don't only get to work as a business analyst. That's the beauty about tech. That's the beauty about tech. You learn the business analysis skill. It's not like you are learning to be, let's say, a lawyer. And apologies, I'm to the lawyers in the house, okay? But I'm not saying it's not like you're going to be, learning to be a lawyer. Because learning to be a lawyer, you can only work as a lawyer. You can only work in law. So maybe you work in corporate law, whatever kind of law. But at the end of the day, it's law. But as a business analyst, you have so many opportunities. You can work as a business analyst. You can work as a business data analyst, a process analyst, a business systems analyst, a functional analyst, requirements analyst, all of these things. So all of those different career paths ensure that you have a broader range you have a broader range when you're applying to jobs, because of course we all know that the more jobs you apply to, the better your chances for landing a role. That should be a given. It's just like your 1+1 = 2. That should not even be a disclaimer. Same thing for your data analytics and for your agile project management. So many opportunities available to you. You can function in almost scratch that. You can function in every industry. Because if you take a look at one of the publications earlier, I showed us some publications earlier. One of the publications stated that data analytics is very high in demand, and that's because every organization is using data. There's no company that does not generate data. I repeat, there's no company, there's no industry that does not generate data. And over 50% of currently available data was generated in over 90% of currently available data was generated in the past 5 years. That's to tell you that many organizations are now being data centric, which means that all of these roles are only going to be continue being in high demand. And that's just me talking about data analytics. We have similar cases for your business analysis and your agile project manager. What you need to know to be a business analyst. For you to be a business analyst, you need to have a flavor of data